Welcome to the program. I am your host, Andrew Wilkow. Yesterday, the Durham Report dropped, and unlike the Mueller report, it was meaty. It had fact, information, and receipts. The truth is, and we've known this all along, but now I guess it's official because the media had to acknowledge it. There wasn't ever a Trump-Russia. Watch a very pained Jake Tapper.
Report is now here. It has dropped, and it might not have produced everything of what some Republicans hoped for. It is, regardless, devastating to the FBI, and to a degree, it does exonerate Donald Trump. Regardless,
My first guest is the representative for Ohio's 4th Congressional District and chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, also the chairman of the subcommittee on the weaponization of government, Representative Jim Jordan. My God, just give me your hot take on this.
Well, the best line in there, I think, was where Mr. Durham said the FBI failed in its fundamental mission of fidelity to the law. In other words, Andrew, they didn't follow the law. They didn't do what they had. No evidence, no probable cause, no basis whatsoever, no predicate to even start this investigation. That to me was the key takeaway. And then that the idea that they got information from a truly trusted source. The trusted source said, hey, we think this is all Clinton campaign BS that they're feeding to the FBI. They dismissed that because they were so content, so focused on going after President Trump and trying to help the Clinton campaign.
Backtracking on events here is it's going to take a long time. Brennan said he saw intelligence. Yeah. Comey, Strzok, McCabe all said that there was proper predicate for this investigation. We can go on and on and on. We know that Michael Sussman had lied to James Baker when he said, well, I'm just here as a concerned citizen. Yep. He was operating on the payroll of the Clinton campaign, bringing this intelligence to the FBI. There are so many things swirling around here, but it's all fake. It's all a hoax. This entire thing took 7 years, but finally we got the report that says there's no arguing. It's not Republicans versus Democrats anymore. These people lied. Yeah,
and it was all manufactured, all done for politics. I love the fact, too, that there's later in the report, the executive summary gives you the meat and the bones, but later in the report, they talk about Comey and McCabe pushing to get the FISA. Where's the FISA? When are we going to get the FISA? How long is it going to take? They're just pushing for a FISA based on this dossier. Again, the dossier that the Clinton campaign paid for, that they knew, the FBI knew was false. That was the basis for getting the FISA. And the leadership of our biggest law enforcement, the most trusted, used to be the most trusted law enforcement entity in the world, the FBI, they are pushing to get the FISA so they can start doing what? Spying on a presidential campaign, spying on American citizens. That's what they were up to. So that tells you the intensity and the politics coming from the very highest levels of the FBI.
Okay, so the big question. Okay, you chair a big subcommittee. You chair a big committee. What comes next? What do Republicans do? What does the House of Representatives do? I get it. You don't have the White House. You don't have the Senate. But what comes next?
Well, we're going to have to focus on the money. The money is always what everyone cares about. And the founders, in their wisdom, when they set up our amazing system, the best system ever, when they set it up, they wanted the Congress, the legislative branch, to have the power of the purse. If there was one branch that was, more equal than the other two, it was supposed to be the legislative branch because we control the power to tax and the power to spend. So we're going to have to look at the power to spend, the power of the purse, and say during the appropriations process, we got to put limits on these agencies and how they spend your money, your listeners' money, the American tax dollar. We got to do that because that's really the only leverage we have. And frankly, if we don't do that, what's to stop them from doing it again? We know in 2016 that they used a Clinton campaign paid-for document, the dossier, to go spy on American citizens to try to influence election. We know in 2020, the Biden campaign, we've now learned after Mike Morell's testimony, we now know the Biden campaign worked with Mike Morell and 50 other former intel officials to put together a letter that was not accurate to impact the 2020 presidential election. What are they going to do in 2024 if we don't take some sort of action to limit how they use taxpayer money. So we got to continue to get the facts on the table, and then we have to look at the appropriations process.
Who would you like to subpoena? If you could have your way subpoenaing people that were involved in all of this, who would you like to bring before Congress?
Well, we've on a broader, we've subpoenaed, I don't know how many different, like 30 different, I think, subpoenas we've sent for individuals, documents on all kinds of things we're doing it as part of our overall investigation. Relative to this specific matter, I would really like to talk to Andy McCabe again, Comey again. These were the guys who were driving it. We've had Comey and McCabe under oath in a transcribed interview back in 2019, 2020, in those time frames. But it would really be interesting to talk to now that we know how hard they were pushing for the FISA. Now, I don't know that we'll go there. We got plenty of work we got to do to get the facts on the table, to propose legislation, and to deal with the appropriations process that I indicated. And we got a big hearing coming up this week. This week, we're having some of the FBI whistleblowers who we believe have beyond a shadow of a doubt, have been retaliated against because they came to Congress to tell us all the crazy things that are going on. So we got a big hearing this week where we're going to get some more facts on the table for the American people.
Would you like to talk to Hillary Clinton? I think that's a rhetorical question. I mean, this is where it all starts, right? She hires Christopher Steele. Christopher Steele puts together this, list of nonsensical, uncorroborated things.
Yeah.
Her lawyer goes to the FBI and says, "Hey, I've got this, this information about Donald Trump. I mean, we've got the Alpha Bank stuff. We've got all the dossier stuff. This all gets funneled to the FBI. I want to know where it made the jump from potential political campaigning, which might be dirty but not illegal, into the FISA court. And what role did Hillary play in it?"
Well, yeah, and they laundered it even more. You got the facts down, but think about how they tried to launder this. It was the Clinton campaign who hired the law firm Perkins Coie, who hired Fusion GPS, who hired Christopher Steele. Christopher Steele was working with the FBI some, and the FBI hired Dan Chinko, a guy who was under investigation for espionage 12 years later, but then was put on the payroll. I mean, all this was all confusing. And then, of course, information gets leaked to the press. The press reports it. They then use those press reportings, those stories, to buttress the false thing they started in the first place. That's how disgusting this all was. And the idea that it was all used to go spy on American citizens is what's really troubling. That is truly the weaponization of government being turned on we the people. And that's the part we find most egregious. Of course, we'd love to talk to all these people at some point, but we got so much work we got to do with what's currently going on, because now it's worse. It started off, they put this all together to go after Trump and go after a presidential campaign and people associated with the presidential campaign. Now it's being turned on the American people. Now it's, if you're a parent at a school board meeting, you're a Catholic attending mass, you're a pro-lifer praying at a clinic, now they're coming after you. That's where I think in many ways it's even worse now than what it was based on when they were going after presidential campaigns.